Hello and welcome to Alchemist Swim. I'm Alchemist Jen, and I hope you're having a good day. A happy day to you. So today's whim of the day is to do the same thing. I feel like it's the same thing, but you may never have seen this before, or you don't care that it's the same thing and you're just happy to be here. So I'm happy you're here no matter why you're here, even if you're randomly watching this, and it's all good. Welcome. Thank you for joining me. Today I am going to show you my doodle of the day. It is Cauldron of Awesomeness. Because everybody needs some more awesomeness, so why not make some more in a cauldron with a heart on it? Why not? So anyway, just silly doodle for the day, and I hope you enjoyed it. And so I'm going to keep working on my octopus. I am crocheting an octopus out of cotton yarn that I dyed in a beautiful, beautiful lime green color here. So what I'm doing right now is working on the length, the number of rows that I have. I'm aiming for 26 rows down, and so this is based off of me having made this octopus before and knowing roughly the size that I want it to be. I made it in a bigger version of itself because it was thicker yarn, so much more fine yarn will create a smaller creature if you use the same number of stitches, that is. You can make a really big creature with fine yarn too, you just need more stitches. Yay for math. So working on this octopus, and I think I just have a couple more rows before I start adding the tentacles and appendages, so I'm very excited about that. Can't wait to see what it looks like when it's done. It's going to feel really nice. It's a really nice soft cotton, so it's just really quite a fun color and texture, and it's going to create a really nice soft sculpture. So it's going to be a pattern that is available too, so an advantage of the method that I'm using here is that you know, I'm just kind of testing out and proving that what I did before will work again. So yay for proof, and yeah, math is good. Right now I'm also in the process of, you know, doing this, but then also being mindful and thoughtful of how I'm going to actually write up the pattern for someone else to be able to make, and then having tutorials. So that's something that will happen as well. Yay. How about that? So you're testing this, then I think I'll probably, some of this, like, you know, being able to do tutorials, I think some things are repeatable, and then it could be used in multiple creature settings. So some of them are very specific, like octopus tentacles would be a octopus thing, not something else you'd put on something, unless you were cross species monster making, and that is really cool too. So, you know, whatever you want to do, that's the whole point. You can take a couple patterns, mishmash them, why not, and have some fun. You can do whatever you want to do. So I'm going to do some counting, see how many rows I have. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 24, 25. Ooh, alright, so one more row, and then I am ready for tentacles. Sounds amazing, right? I thought so. So yeah, so that's really quite fun, being able to make octopuses, octopi, however you want to pluralize that. Both are apparently correct. It's just a matter of preference, and I'm sure there are some arguments if people hold one way superior over another. It's fun. Try having a conversation about that. That is fun to do, especially with people that are very particular about it. Yeah. So, random thoughts for the day. And I've never seen a green one before, probably, so maybe you have, maybe you've made one, maybe you are one. who knows? Anything's possible. So I did some fiber dyeing yesterday. So these are fiber that's going to be carded. I've got a new drum carder coming my way, and so it's going to help me be able to blend and fluff up the fibers into bats so that they're easy to needle felt into. These particular ones are for foxes, so very super fun. I am excited just to see how those will turn out, and yeah, so it's really just cool, you know, being able to provide fiber for other people that want to make things is super fun and super cool. So I'm working on foxes for this one, and then the next batches that I'm going to do are for other creatures as well. So they're more like fur tones that I'm working with now. So getting some variety in the fibers, so carding it will also help flatten it out a little bit and make it more consistent, especially when being used in a creature. So yeah, so I'm excited to be able to add a new tool and then have it immediately become beneficial for somebody who's trying to make something else. So yay. And then so I'm working on that. I'm gonna do those goodies, and then I'm going to work on just some other fiber things with that too. I think I can have some fun with just general fiber bats, which I'm really excited about. Being able to offer something different, but I also have like a bunch of yarn scraps that would do really well in bats and to be spun up. So make some art yarns, which would be really cool. Just add some different interest, and I don't know, it's just, there's lots of different things that can be done, which is really intriguing and super fun. So those are my thoughts on this fine day. Crochet away and talk about fibery things. Why not? And I do thank you for joining me for that. Let's see, so I made it to 26. So basically all I'm doing, I don't have stitch markers, anything to showcase where I'm at. What I have is on the bottom here, I can see where I started my row based off of how it kind of jogs out and goes around. So I know that there's a variety of different ways that would just create more of a closed thing instead of that circular kind of a feel to spiraling. But I really enjoy this method of growing a creature and then closing it off, and then you can definitely see your rows better, and I don't know, it's just really fun. I find it successful in making shapes, so you can see how beautiful that is. Just really nice, good texture, good feel. It's a very beautiful yarn. I'm excited for more people to get a chance to play with it and hold it and enjoy it, and then also being able to see people interact with the creatures that are coming out of this too. This is just a fantastic texture. So I'm really excited. I think it's good. I keep saying that, but I am excited and I think it's great. So that is what I'm working on today. Fiber won't be dry for a bit. Sometimes I think initially when I started dyeing fibers, I would lay them flat, and then it would take a while for them to get rid of their water that was built up in there. So this time I'm hanging them. I find that they dry quicker, and then from there I can fluff them out, because when you dye fibers, they're really fluffy to start, and then you get them wet, and then they're kind of floaty, and then you need to get the water out, so you do have to squeeze them very carefully so they don't rub on each other, those little fibers, and get caught too much. So very also important to make sure that when you wash them at the other end of it, there is no warmth in there, otherwise you're going to end up with a felted mess, and it might make a cool sculpture, but it's not going to help you if you're going to use the fiber for spinning yarn or felting creatures. So so right now the fibers are a little squished down. They've let, like, the air in the water has been squished out. There's no air in there, sorry. Sorry for being unclear on that. Air is only in there when it's dry, between the fibers, and water's in there if it's wet. So there's no water in there now, and then we're going to fluff it out so we can get some air in there. And that's going to just really change just how the whole thing feels. Right now it's wet, so some of the darker areas, I find like there's so much variation even in the length of fibers still. What adds to that is how many different colors are used in the dye. So a simple shade of black, for instance, is really just a mixture of many colors, and so you're gonna see, at least I find in some fibers when dyeing a bigger batch of it, is that it'll split. So you'll see the different elements that are in there. Some areas are really much more dark, and some are light, kind of a gray. And taking any color and then putting it over a light colored something, you're going to end up with that light color, like fiber, I find just kind of illuminates through a little bit too. So the saturation is just fascinating. It just changes. And I was taking photos of the fiber, and then depending on the lighting, I just saw such different results in the intensity or the things that came across in the camera versus what I was seeing with my eye. Just fascinating. Just like when you take a picture of a sunset, what you experience with your eye versus what you get in the camera can be quite different. So it's all really just fascinating. So I'm trying to catch and capture the most, authentic feel with it. Some of the dark moodiness without the false lightiness, I guess, of it if you take a picture with too much lighting on it. So, and then it's reflective. I think that's the other part about some of the animal fibers, is the way that they hold the light. There's some pieces that it likes to bounce off of. Part of that would be because the fibers are still wet, so there's still some water involved in that as well too. So yay for science, yay for reasons things show up different ways with different viewpoints. And that was a very big ramble, but I appreciate that you're still here if you are. And yeah, so we'll see how that fiber turns out. I will show off the braids before I work on carding it, because I really just want to show maybe just the process and what it looks like throughout. So it's really fun. I hope you're having a great day, and hope you have a good rest of your day. Thanks for joining me. We'll see where the whim takes us tomorrow. Toodaloo.